to the channel. Today we're going to talk about USB settings here on the Boss GT-1, and these settings are extremely important when you're going to use the GT-1 for USB recording. And let's take a look at those settings right here. Press the menu button over here and it will take you into the menu right here, and use knob number 1 over here to scroll until you see the USB icon here. Press the enter button, and in here you'll see 3 different parameters. You have a mix level, you have an EFX Out level, and you have a direct monitor level. Well, the mix level over here, while being connected via USB, is going to control the level of, let's say, a backing track that's coming from your computer and then into the GT-1 because it's connected via USB. And the mix level, if you decrease it, it will generally just turn the overall level of that signal being sent into the GT-1 here. And get this right, it will not alter the level of the backing track, for example, within the recording software itself. So if you're using Cubase or Audacity or something like that, it will not change the default or the recorded level of that backing track. It will simply take the mix level here and let you control it if you're going to play some phrases or something before you go to record. This would just ensure that you're getting a nice clean and clear signal, and that things are not too loud when you're listening through headphones or studio monitors, for example. So it's a nice way of blending things in without having to touch anything right off the bat in your recording software. Okay, over here we have EFX Out, and this is the output sent from the GT-1 itself here into your recording software. And on mine I've just set it to 200%, which is the maximum, and this enables me to make sure that I get the strongest and cleanest signal here. I believe that by default it's set to 100 or something like that, and that's alright, but you can run into some kind of problems if you're recording into your software. And if it's set to 100, you might have to, within your recording software itself, to gain the channel or channels that you're using to record on. And I just like to generally just bump that all the way up, because I know that's the maximum that I can get out, and that leaves me with minimal adjustments to be made within my recording software. And yeah, that's just the signal coming out from all the effects and the preamps, if you're using those, via the USB into your computer and the recording software. So mess around with this setting and see, well, maybe 200 is too much for you and your recording, depending on how you set things up. But I've found that this gives quite a strong signal, and in the end that's what we're looking for. We're always looking for the strongest signal to enter our recording program, and from there we can always take it down a notch. That's easier than having to gain things and make a mess of it. Okay, so direct monitor over here, by default it's always set to on, because if you haven't connected your GT-1 via USB or headphones, when it's on, you will hear the direct sound from the GT-1. When you're using headphones or studio monitors and you set it to off, then you won't hear anything coming through your speakers or your headphones. So by default it's always set to on. However, it's always on also when you connect via USB to your recording software. But in your recording software you might have, I know that I have in Cubase, for example, I have a monitor on each of my tracks in there. So if I leave this at on and I also enable my monitor in Cubase, I will basically have 2 monitors fighting against each other, and it creates some kind of doubling effect, and it's not very pleasant to hear. So I found that when you're connecting via USB and recording, and you have your monitor in your recording software, I like to just turn the direct monitor here on the GT-1 off, because it gives me the exact same sound just without the direct monitor on the GT-1, because in my recording software. I just need that direct monitor. But you need it on if you're listening or playing via speakers or headphones, because otherwise you won't get any sound through. So these are the 3 overall USB settings that you would need to take care of in order for you to get the maximum out of the GT-1 if you really want to record via your computer. And these settings, especially the EFX Out, it's quite important because many people might complain about a weak signal coming into their interface or their recording software, and most of the time it's because this parameter right here is either at 100 or lower than that. So I suggest that play around with it and start with 150, or just crank it all the way and see what kind of signal you're getting into your recording software. Of course, when you're recording via USB, there are also settings to take care of in your recording software, such as that it has selected the appropriate driver, and you might have to, as I said previous, you might have to gain the channel a little bit or turn it down. It all depends on how your workflow is when you're using your software. But these 3 parameters here are quite important, so I thought I would share that with you here today. And if you have any questions or comments, leave your comment below and I'll see if I can get to them. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more.